You are listening to Fettuccini Fiasco, Book 3 of the Jade Sommer Series. Written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2021. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices. Chapter 22. The best-case scenario was that we'd find Logan right away, and we'd be on the next plane home. But we had to be realistic, too, which was why we each packed a small bag for the trip that would get us through a couple of days. My heart raced as we hurried to the gate.
We made it,
Mila said with a gusted breath.
I didn't think the security line was going to be so long.
We stood at the back of the line and funneled onto the plane with the rest of the passengers. I kept taking peeks behind us, positive that the 411 had men lurking. Even though this was a secured area, that didn't mean the 411 didn't have their fingers in every part of Chicago, including the airport. As soon as we sat down in our seats, I figured I was safe enough. That, and I was running out of time. I pulled out my phone and texted the 411. A message from them was already waiting for me.
Where the hell are you?
Can't fight. Had to go out of town. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow and we'll fight then. The response was instant.
You better be here tonight.
Sorry, I can't. I'm on a plane right now. Have to turn off my phone.
If you're not here tonight, your next fight will be with the exterminator.
I knew it would happen eventually, but seeing those words made me appreciate I was sardined onto a plane. I turned off my phone and took a shaky breath. The exterminator was a problem for another day.
You okay?
Nash asked. If we find Logan, I will be. He held out his hand.
Good, because I need you to hold my hand.
I glanced from his hand to him. Why?
I'm a nervous flyer.
I thought he was joking until I saw the beads of sweat dotting his upper lip and brow. Then why are you here?
You can't do this alone. I know how to deal with Avery. You'll need me.
I slipped my hand in his and gently squeezed. Tension that I hadn't noticed in him eased as he let his head rest against the back of the seat. He closed his eyes and counted under his breath. Mila finished up a text and shoved her phone into her purse. She looked rather nervous as well. I held out my other hand. I wasn't sure if she'd take it or not, but she did. So, the three of us held hands until the plane took off and we were safely in the air. The stress of the 411 temporarily left me. Now, I could focus on Logan. When we arrived at the hotel, we headed to the front desk. The Lost City Casino and Hotel lived up to its reputation as being an Atlantis-themed resort. Between its towering columns and ceiling painted to look like we were under the water, it made me feel like I should wear a mermaid tail. The front desk was a giant aquarium filled with colorful reef fish.
Welcome.
A woman at the desk greeted us.
Do you have a reservation?
No.
Nash said.
Do you have any rooms available for tonight?
How many rooms?
She asked, looking at the three of us.
Just one.
And how many nights?
Hopefully just one.
Her fingers clicked on the keyboard as she searched.
We have a suite available.
He passed his credit card to her. I'll pay, I said.
You can make it up to me later.
Thankfully, he didn't follow that up with a wink, because the front desk attendant's gaze flittered from Nash to me, and then to Mila. I knew exactly where her mind was going. We have friends staying here, I said. Can we get their room number?
I'm sorry. I can't give out that information.
I figured that would be her answer, but it never hurt to try. This hotel was huge and had tourists coming and going at a rapid pace. I'd never find Logan. Can I send a note to the room? From her confused expression, I suspected she didn't get that request often.
Sure.
she said, glancing down at her desk. She grabbed a pad of paper and a pen and handed them over to me. Thank you. I eyed Nash. What should I write? Nash took the paper and scribbled for Avery to meet him at Tapas Baronet in an hour. He then handed the paper back to the front desk attendant. She took them with a smile and then handed us our key to the room.
Now what?
Mila asked after we moved away from the desk. We wait by the elevator until she passes off the note to staff, I said. Then we follow the staff to Avery's room. Seeing as the elevator was off to the side of the front desk, I was concerned we might draw attention to ourselves as we lingered. Thankfully, there were slot machines everywhere, including next to the elevator. Pretend you're playing, I said to Mila. Nash, you watch the front desk.
The woman is going to think I'm a creep if I watch her.
He paused.
Hang on, I think she handed off the note.
I glanced over. Where are they going?
Not this way.
I spun to find the uniformed woman walking in the opposite direction. Follow her! With our bags, we bumbled after the woman, sidestepping tourists and slot machines. We came to a halt in the middle of the noisy casino.
She's gone,
Nash said, using his height to look over the crowd.
Now what?
We retreat and put our bags in the room.
and hopefully the message will get to Avery.
With a sigh, I followed Nash and Mila back to the elevator and rode up to our room on the 10th floor. Dropping our bags near the king bed, I supposed we'd figure out the sleeping situation later. Right now, I didn't think I'd ever be able to sleep anyway. Mila hugged my shoulder to her.
It's okay. We'll still find him. And if he's really here with Avery, then he's probably safe. It's not like they allow dead people into the hotel.
But people die in hotels, I said.
Avery isn't here to kill Logan,
Nash said as he picked up the Courtesy Tourist magazine. He flashed the cover of a bride and groom at a wedding chapel.
But Logan wouldn't marry Avery. He loves Jade.
All Avery would have to do is drug him.
Mila frowned.
I suppose there are chapels here that might turn a blind eye to it.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
My stomach churned as I thought of Avery and Logan getting married. As long as Logan was safe, I could deal with anything, and there was always the option of an annulment.
I say we call chapels,
Mila said, snatching the magazine to find the page with the chapel listings. I knew she was right, and it was a proactive thing to do, but if I had to stay in the room and make phone calls while Logan could be anywhere out there, it would drive me as loony as Avery. Nash must have picked up on my nervousness and suggested an alternative.
Mila, why don't you make the phone calls, and Jade and I will do a sweep of the lobby and casino.
Mila nodded.
I'll let you know if I find anything.
Nash opened the door and ushered me out. Thank you, I said as we walked to the elevator.
Not a problem. I knew there was no way you'd be able to sit in the room, and I'd rather be on the move.
He pressed the down button. But let's do this strategically, I said. The last thing I want to do is walk around in circles and waste time.
What do you suggest?
One of us stays at the main lobby door, I said. The other does a sweep of the main hotel and casino areas.
Sounds good. Which one do you prefer?
The lobby. While I had excess energy to burn, I'd rather stick by the door where I had more of a chance at catching Avery. We stepped aside when the elevator doors opened, allowing a kissing couple to exit. They giggled at being caught and then scurried to their room. When we stepped into the elevator, I jabbed the lobby button. Nash smirked.
Don't take your frustration out on the button.
I'm not, I said, jabbing the close door button next.
You'll have Logan back and we'll be making out with him in the hallway in no time.
I wished. When we reached the lobby, I scanned the area. The lobby was spacious, but there weren't many places to sit and get a good view of the door. Nash nudged me and pointed.
Over there.
A lone love seat was placed along the wall as if it was an afterthought. It had a view of the front door, elevator, and front desk. It was perfect. except there was someone already sitting there, and she didn't look like someone who shared. With her rod straight posture, pressed together lips, and purse clutched to her, she probably wouldn't be the kind to scoot over so we could all squeeze onto it. She looks territorial, I said. I'd rather stand anyway.
You'll draw attention. But if we go over there and act like the kissing couple, the lady will probably move.
Good plan, except for the kissing part.
We don't have to kiss. Sit on my lap and giggle.
I blinked at him. Sit on your lap and giggle? I repeated. Who does that?
A person who wants the love seat.
Fair point. As we headed over, he nodded to the woman who didn't seem impressed by his winning smile. Nash squeezed in next to her. When she didn't look like she was going to move, Nash held out his hand to me.
Sit for a little, sweetheart.
When my hand was in his, he pulled me to his lap and grinned at me. The woman glowered, taking sidelong glances at us. Nash had wanted me to giggle, but I was in no mood to act silly. Giggling required energy that I simply didn't have anymore. Plus, I was still sporting a black eye. Nothing about me said I was a giggler. Still, I couldn't sit on Nash's lap for the rest of the night. And the woman was irritating me with her judgmental stare. I sighed and said, Sweetheart, I hope that loan shark doesn't come back. I can't afford another black eye. My boss said he'd take me off the dance floor if I showed up to work with any more bruises. Lap dances are the only thing keeping my rent paid. The woman's glower deepened, puckering her sour face. She stood with a huff and marched out of the lobby. If that lie offended her, she was in the wrong city. And then I did giggle from the silliness of the whole encounter. Nash smirked as I stood and took her place on the couch.
Very effective.
Worked better than I thought it would. He glanced at me, pausing on my bruises.
I'm sorry you're going through this.
Me too.
Do you know what you'll do when you get back?
I shook my head. No, I want to focus on finding Logan. Then I'll figure out the 411. I just hope they don't retaliate.
Think they will?
Nearly positive. I eyed him. Which is why you should stop hanging out at the diner.
I only eat there.
Then what was in the envelope?
Let it go.
No. Explain why you took an envelope from the diner if it wasn't some kind of job. A job that pays money, which you need since you aren't working for Avery right now.
Jade, it's nothing sinister, but I'd rather not talk about it.
I pressed my lips together and then said, Would you tell me if you need money? I have some from all the fights. I'll give you some if you need it.
I don't need money. Everything is good, I promise.
I wouldn't pester him further about it. But I was going to keep my eye on him when we got back to Chicago. He stood.
I'll make a sweep through the casino. Let me know if you see Avery.
I suppose that meant I had to turn on my phone. That would not be a fun task, but it needed to be done. When Nash walked away, I pulled out my phone and turned it on while still monitoring the lobby and elevator doors. Only one message popped up.
If you're not back by tomorrow night, one member of your family will die every night you're gone.
I had to reread that several times as the edges of my vision blurred. Taking a deep breath, I collected my thoughts. It would be okay. I'd make sure to be home by then. I texted Mila. Got a message from the 411. I need to be home by tomorrow night or family starts dying. After your phone calls to the chapels, can you look up flights for tomorrow? I didn't get an immediate response, so I figured she was on the phone. Should I warn the family? It would probably terrify them. But maybe they could bunk with Nana again, just in case. As I pondered, I continued to monitor the surroundings. Had I not been here to search for Logan, I might have enjoyed people watching. People watching used to be fun. Now it was annoying. Because with each person stepping through the doors who wasn't Logan, my annoyance and stress levels notched up. A message from Mila came through.
I'll look at flights as soon as I'm done. No luck so far on the chapels, but I have more to call.
I replied with a quick thank you and continued my watch over the area.
Hey, baby.
Someone said.
You want to have some fun?
He halted as I turned toward him. One glance at my face and he swerved.
Never mind.
He found his next mark a little further down.
Hey, baby.
I reached up to my face, lightly pressing on the bruises. Not that I wanted to be hit on by a horny man fueled by alcohol, but was I that hideous? With a sigh, I knew I was. 30 minutes later, Nash returned to the lobby.
I looked in the main areas and some of the casino, but I should head to the restaurant to see if Avery shows.
Do you think she will? He shrugged.
She's been wanting to go there since it opened a year ago. If any place can lure her, it will be Tapas Baronet.
Do you want me or Mila to go with you?
No, it's probably better if we split up. If she saw you at the restaurant with me, she wouldn't come in.
Okay, but text updates if you can. He gave a jaunty salute and walked toward the front door. A few come-hither stares from the ladies were aimed his way as he left. The nighttime crowd was emerging, and with it came slinky dresses and ridiculously tall plastic cups filled with cocktails. Putting the two together made for humorous scenery, but it also blocked my view. The elevator door opened and a bachelorette party spilled from it. They giggled as they talked in rapid, loud voices. So much giggling and squealing. My nerves couldn't handle much more of it. As they lingered in the lobby and went over their plans for the night, they blocked my view of the elevator. Between them and the thickening crowd, I couldn't see much of anything. I needed a better view. Standing, I headed to the front door. Out of all the locations, the front door was my priority. Veering through the crowd, a streak of Mountain Dew yellow caught my attention. That shade was a little too familiar for me not to investigate. I halted and turned back, keeping my eyes on the hair as it weaved through to the front desk. "Nana?" I called. The hair stopped and turned around.
Jade?
After dodging a group of men in Hawaiian shirts, I found her and Landon. They waved to me when they saw me. "What are you doing here?" I asked.
Helping you find Logan,
Land said. "But how did you get here? Mila said all the flights were booked." Land frowned.
There were still seats available. Even the red-eye had tons of seats.
What was Mila up to? Why would she lie about not being able to get a later flight? Was it because she didn't want to fight? I wouldn't blame her if that was the case. But now we were in deeper with the 411. We would have been better off going to the fight and then recouping on the airplane.
Do you have a room? We didn't get that far in the planning.
Yeah, it's a suite, but it only has one bed, I said.
No problem. It's not like we're going to be sleeping. What have we missed so far?
Not much. Nash texted Avery to meet him at a restaurant she has been wanting to try out. I'm not sure if she'll take the bait, but he went to go see. I've been watching the lobby, but it's getting crowded in here. And Mila is calling Chapels to see if Avery and Logan have been seen in any of them.
Good. Sounds like you got a handle on things. We'll drop off our bags at the room and be back to start searching as well.
I gave them the room number and went back to my post at the front door, hoping I didn't miss anything while I was distracted. My phone buzzed. I glanced at the text from Nash.
I'm at the restaurant. So far I don't see her, but there's still time.
Stay there for a little while, I replied. Nana and Landon are here. They'll help search as well.
How did they get here? I thought the flights were booked.
So did I. But Mila must have been confused. I hoped it was just confusion. But Mila was savvy with anything online. However, the alternative was lying. And the way she had been acting made me suspect the worst.
She must have been looking at one airline and not all of them.
I knew that had to be wrong, but I didn't comment. Resuming my spot at the front door, I scanned the crowds. There was no sign of Avery or Logan. This plan was not working. So when Nana and Lan returned 10 minutes later, I pulled them aside. "We're never going to find Avery and Logan in this mess," I said as a woman bumped into me.
We need to figure out what room they are in,
Nana said. Tried that already, I said. We had a message sent to the room. We were going to follow the messenger, but we lost them.
Then we'll try again. How about sending a little celebratory champagne to the happy couple?
Great, I said. But how would we follow the champagne?
We ride the elevator. Someone will eventually have to deliver it. Then we follow.
It was as good of a plan as any.
We can't all ride the elevator. It would draw too much attention.
You're right. Jade should be the one.
I'm happy to, but why should I be the one?
I'll end up with motion sickness, and Lan can't do it. There would be a call to security. They'd think he was a creeper.
She patted his arm.
Not that you are one.
He didn't seem to mind.
So, it's settled. Jade, you ride the elevator. I'll stay at the front door. Lan, go order the champagne and then walk the lobby.
When Lan left to order the champagne, Nana put her hand on my shoulder.
Are you okay?
I'll be fine as soon as we find Logan.
For someone on the right side of the law, that boy sure gets himself into a lot of trouble.
The same could be said about you. She winked at me.
I like having a little fun. Go on to the elevator. This will all be over soon. You'll be giving him a hug before the night is through.
I was going to tell her to promise me we'd find him, but we both knew there were no promises for finding Logan. And just like the lobby, the elevator was crowded. I stepped in and squeezed my way to the back. I had a feeling I would be on this thing for a few rides until the champagne appeared.
Oh, sorry,
Someone said as they stepped on my foot. I silently groaned and shifted my feet so they were less likely to get stepped on. By the time I arrived at the top floor, the car had cleared out, but a couple stepped on. The way they clung to each other made me suspect they were about to have a kissing fest the minute the doors closed. What was it about Vegas that made everyone feel the need to kiss in public areas? I sighed at my prudishness, knowing it was just the stress. The couple glanced at me as if expecting me to get off. I forgot something in the lobby, I said. The doors closed, and I kept close to the panel while they made out behind me. The shiny metal doors reflected it wasn't only their tongues dueling. Hands were involved. Thankfully, a few floors down, more people got on, and the couple had to curtail their lovemaking. By the time we reached the lobby, the car was packed again, and I was shoved to the back.
We should have taken the other elevator,
Someone complained. The other elevator? There was only one in the lobby. Where was the other one? I pulled out my phone to text Lan and Nana, but as I did, someone familiar stepped onto the elevator. Since I was sandwiched in my place, and people tended not to make eye contact in the small space, she didn't notice me. But what was Detective Amro doing here?